and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books, and David's forehead as he sleeps. Do you want to have a little peek up into the frame, David? There he is. Daphne's just jumped on the ensuite window. Do you want to just check that the window is not open enough that she can escape?
Oh
dear. He's a bit sad because we've had to employ a couple of blankets, and I'm in my dressing gown and he's in his dressing gown. It was much colder last night than we were anticipating it would be. Duvet will be going on the bed tonight. We've been sleeping with, you know, just the duvet sheet because it's been summer. And now it is autumn, so we need the duvet on. Anyway, hi. Today I am going to be doing something that I've wanted to do for a long time. Hello. And that is listening to all the podcasts recommended in the Radio Times this week. So David and I are subscribers to the Radio Times, which is a television and radio listings magazine you get in the UK. This was one of David's Christmas presents, and we've carried it on, haven't we?
we have.
We have. And every week they recommend a number of podcasts. And every week I think, I would love to get round to listening to all those podcasts because I'm always looking for new podcasts. The podcasts I listen to are very much ones that I've been listening to for many, many years. So this would be a nice opportunity to see if there's anything I would like to continue with them. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 podcasts here. And I'm going to talk through what is on there, and then I'm going to listen to all 9 over the course of my day, and then hopefully at the end I will have one that I will continue listening to. So let's have a quick chat about what they are. Maybe I'll angle you here, so David's head is there, but
That's
also
enough.
I can put
Not a millimetre of me and more.
I can put the picture here. So the first one is Instant Classics, and this is Mary Beard and Charlotte Higgins debating how ancient stories can have modern twists and why it matters. I'm looking forward to listening to that. I've read a few Mary Beard books and I've always got a slight interest in history. David's shaking his head at that one. The next one is one from Audible, which I do have. I wouldn't say this counts as a podcast, but I'm really up for listening to it. This is sort of the one that pushed me over the edge to make me want to do this. So Pride and Prejudice, there's a new adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. And it's got Marissa Abuela, you know, who played Amy Winehouse, and she's in that programme you like.
Oh yeah.
Industry. And Harris Dickinson, who I also like, who was in Snapper and he's in a few other things. Yeah, so this is the pick of the week. So it's a new adaptation available.
Is there a picture of him?
No, just him, just her.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's great. I'll nip to the next one that's on Audible, and that's Do Not Disturb. And this is a comedy sequence, and it's following a group of black people in their 30s living in South London. It's got Judy Love in it. She's playing Sade, and it's all about their sort of sex lives and romance lives and things like that. So yeah, they're 30-minute individual episodes. So I'll listen to the first episode of that. Then we've got a sports one, which will be interesting. Wildcards, with that cheeky boy Jermaine Genus, who got sacked from the BBC for extracurricular marital affairs, along with Jermaine Pennant. Are those two, how do you feel about those two on a podcast? Would they be good? They're talking about football.
I don't know if I've ever really heard Jermaine Pennant's talk, but he was he was alright. He wasn't a bad footballer back in the day.
So apparently in this podcast they straddle the worlds of fantasy football and real football, neither of which I've got an interest in, but I'll listen to it and I will report back. I will.
No, there's too many football podcasts.
Too many football podcasts, says David. The next one is one that I've already listened to, so only 8 episodes to listen to, and that's Dish, which is one of my favourite podcasts that I've been listening to for many, many years, and David and I listened to this week's Dish episode, which is a food podcast hosted by Angela Rayner. Angela Rayner, is that her name? Yeah, Angela Hartnett. Angela Rayner is she was a politician until very recently. Angela Hartnett and Nick Grimshaw. Angela Hartnett is a amazing chef who owns restaurants and cookbooks and all sorts of things. And Nick Hartnett. Nick, very early. And Nick Grimshaw
Heart attack.
is a TV and radio presenter who I find very funny, and their dynamic is great, isn't it?
It's a very good.
So they're very good together. And this week they had on Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman, who were doing press for their film The Roses, and it was great. And they cooked,
which is also very good.
Which was also very good. And they cooked food that the guests enjoy, and they talk about their likes and dislikes. And yeah, it's great. It's great chatty podcasting, isn't it?
Do you know, that's one of the rare podcasts that when I do listen, I almost think this could be longer.
Oh, okay, well there we go. So yeah, so we won't be listening to that one because it's already done. So I can't, that cannot be the one that I will add to my podcast repertoire because it's already in there. Next up is Women in Prison and Oral History, and this is a social history podcast, and it says here, in 1983 a charity called Women in Prison was founded by a woman called Chris Tchaikovsky along with criminologist Pat Carlin. Tchaikovsky was in prison for fraud and was horrified by what she saw, including the neglect of the suicidal and mentally ill. And this series pays tribute to her work in testimonies from those with experience of the criminal justice system and focuses on the power of collective action for women who should never have been incarcerated. So yeah, sounds like tough stuff. Not for you, David O.
Not for me.
Not for you.
Not a historical
Then
stuff.
we've got The Mystic and the Mayor, which it says it might sound like the plot of a low-budget 1970s movie, but this tale of witchcraft in a sun-drenched swingers' paradise is ripped from the headlines. The mayor of Agde, a coastal resort in the south of France popular with sex tourists, becomes obsessed with the local spirit medium seemingly capable of conjuring up his dead relatives. And this series is co-presented by Anna Richardson, you know her from Naked Attraction, and asks whether she also bewitched him to dip into public funds to fund her lavish lifestyle. Yeah. I don't often listen, well, we listen to no true crime. There is a true crime one on here, I will talk about that one next. But no sort of like true stories or anything, so that'll be interesting. Then the true crime one is Making of a Fugitive, and this is narrated by actor Richard Harrington, who I don't know, with help from journalist Jane Morgan. It centres on a Swansea swindler, David. Say Swansea swindler.
A Swansea swindler.
With a drug dealer and, yes, ostrich farmer. Martin Evans.
I knew it.
He swapped prison for a life of luxury abroad, and it follows his tale with more harrowing stories, plus confessions from other fugitives, and it makes for a lively listen. The truth is, admits one fraudster of his time evading justice. It was awesome. And then the last one is a comedy podcast called Shouldn't Laugh But, and it's hosted by two comedians, women, who I've never heard of, Laura Smith or Smythe and Carmen Butcher. And their motto is everything is funny, and they're sort of talking about their day-to-day life, and yeah, we will see. So those are the 9 podcasts. You don't like the sound of that? What did you like the sound of apart from Dish?
The only one I thought maybe was the one with Judy Love.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Maybe I'll start with that while I'm getting ready then. Yeah, so those are the 9 podcasts, 8 of which I'll be listening to today. I'm going to get my hair done today, so I'm going to walk to the hairdressers and listen to a podcast, walk home from the hairdressers, listen to a podcast when I'm getting ready. I'm doing some crochet, listen to a podcast, got to do some chores, listen to a podcast, etc, etc. So I'm going to be listening to all 8 of them today, and at the end of this I will be picking the one that I will be adding to my podcast repertoire. Like I said, I'm going to start with listening to Do Not Disturb. That episode is 30 minutes long, and yeah, I'll report back when I'm ready. My hair will still be skanky because I don't make an effort for the hairdresser. She is the one who makes my hair look lovely, so sad for her. She makes the effort for me. Yeah, so I will see you when I'm ready and I've listened to the first episode of Do Not Disturb. Say goodbye, David's forehead.
Bye bye.
Well, there we go. I've just listened to the first episode of Do Not Disturb, which was on Audible. Shouting going on outside. Yeah, it's not for me. It's the way the characters are speaking. I'm quite interested in the plot, but the way in which the characters are speaking to one another, it just doesn't sound like the way anyone would speak to anyone ever. It's just constant sort of jokey expletives followed by jokey expletives, and sort of like, oh, he was like Usain Bolt running out of here, followed by another joke in that sort of thing, and it just, yeah, the flow was just insane. Yeah, I won't be listening to any more, but like I said, the plot itself was, I was interested in. There was some stuff about Well, there's a lot in there about dating, but there's also a woman who owns a yoga studio who's it hasn't been well attended, so she goes to another yoga studio and experiences some racism, and then as a result of her complaint they end up getting some training to correct that racism. And yeah, there's yeah, but it's not for me. Okay, well, I'm gonna get on my way and I'm going to listen to, whilst I'm walking, the next podcast of the day, which is The Mystic and the Mayor. So I'm going to listen to episode 1, which says Ghost of Agda. On France's sun-bleached coast, grieving mayor Giles de Torre seeks out local medium Sophia Martinez, but soon after he starts receiving anonymous, and I don't know any more than that, but yeah, so that's 21 minutes, so that will be perfect actually for my walk to the hairdressers. And then hopefully I'll be able to update you on what I thought by the time I get there. So let's get on the way. Oh, look at this, it's well new hair, isn't it? I had ideas to go all brown haired at some point and to get fringing, but I sort of thought maybe I'd do it next time. But my hairdresser, when I was discussing it, she was like, just do it. So we've just done it, so I feel like I've got a whole new head of hair on me. Anyway, I'm walking home now. I listened to The Mystic and the Mayor and the Mystic, the first episode of that on the way here, and I really enjoyed it. It felt a little bit like, does anyone remember Eurotrash from the 90s? It felt a little bit like that in terms of the voices they had doing the voiceovers for the French accents. But yeah, we're finding out about a mayor whose father died, and he uses a local mystic to get back in touch with his father. And yeah, I think it's all gonna be very good. I really enjoyed it. So at the moment, that is the winner. Now I'm going to listen to the Fugitive one now. Making of a Fugitive? I can't remember the full title. I'm going to listen to that on the way home. And then I'll fill you in with that when I get home, and we can have a proper look at this lovely new do. Pleased with it though. Da 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 da. I feel like the sort of sixth form university version of myself because this is the hair I used to have when I was in sixth form and when I was at university. So here I am. I'm very pleased with it. She's done an amazing job. I put on Instagram a while ago, after I'd watched the film Materialist with Dakota Johnson, that I was considering an all brown fringe situation, and I had maybe thought that I would do this towards the end of the year or next year, and then we just sort of thought, fuck it, let's do it. So there we go. I've just listened to, on the way home, Making of a Fugitive, the true crime podcast from the BBC. Again, enjoyed it. It was a short episode of 23 minutes. And yeah, Richard Harrington narrates it, and his voice was familiar to me. Welsh. It's about a Welsh chap who goes on the run, and in conjunction with journalist Jane Morgan. Yeah, I found it interesting. I would probably potentially continue with this one as well, particularly as they're both sort of true crime-ish or true life stories, I guess. I'm just going to have a look and see what the deal is with the whole series. So yeah, there's like 10 episodes, and they're all, none of them are longer than 29 minutes, and some are like 18 minutes or 19 minutes. So yeah, I think I probably would go back to that one. So there we go, 2 successes so far. I'm now going to have a wee, and I've got quite a lot of jobs to do, because as well as having jobs to do, we actually go on holiday tomorrow. We're going to Norway tomorrow. So I've packed my clothes, but I haven't, and my shoes, but I haven't packed my sort of toiletries, makeup, which I'll need out for tomorrow morning, and then sort of like entertainment-y bits. So I need to do that. I also need to change the bed sheets. I've got washing here that needs dealing with. I'd like to show you my cross stitch and my crochet projects, but I'll do that whilst listening. So I think I'm gonna have a wee. Gonna text David and find out how he's getting on at his fracture clinic appointment, which he will probably be in now. And yeah, I think next up I'll probably go to women in prison and oral history. But first of all, taking my belt off and having a wee. But yeah, well done. We've listened to 3 so far. Well, 4 if we include Dish, which I will. So we're nearly halfway there. Every time I turn the screen on, I'm so not used to seeing my face with this fringe. I'm like, who is that? It's me! So I'm going to start listening to Women in Prison and Oral History. The first episode is 40 minutes and it is about, the first episode is about Melissa Benn on the roots of women in prison and storytelling for change. And yeah, I am doing a crochet blanket for my niece. So I'll show you the one I've already done my nephew. Hold on. So I made this one for my nephew when he was born. With the same, I can't remember the name of the wool. It's from Dunelm. It's called Change It Up, Change It Up. And it's made from recycled bottles and it's really soft. And I made this one for my nephew, which was smaller than this, like this much smaller. It came out to this far. And I said to my sister, do you want me to make that a bit bigger for him now he's 6 months old? So I added on from that brown one all the way up to there recently. And then when my sister gave it to me, my niece told me that sometimes when she wants to feel calm, she takes this blanket and lays down with it. And I thought, that means you want one of those blankets. So I'm going to, she's bigger because she's 6. I'm going to just go with this until it is Christmas. And then I will give her how big ever that one is. But I've done it slightly different. So instead of, it's still the same type of wool, but I'm using a blue and a pink. Whereas my nephew's one has brown and yellow, and also I've gone brown, yellow, and then 2 rows of cream, whereas this is going to be blue, pink, and 3 rows of cream. So it will go a bit bigger, and I've got much more of the cream wool than I have of any of the others. But yeah, let us now continue with this and listen to the first episode of Women in Prison. I mean, I better press go on it really, shouldn't I? Go!
Oral history.
Okay, so this is how much crocheting was done. So I finished my 3 wide white cream banner and have started doing a pink one. So yeah, pleased with it. The podcast, the actual meat of the podcast, if you will, the content is extremely interesting. You're finding out about a charity called Women in Prison and the person who established that, who died in 97, I think they said, which is hugely interesting, and hearing about what we're going to be set up for in terms of like storytelling for the rest of the podcast. However, the sound was abysmal. So there's a sound, somebody at the beginning who talks about what we've got to expect. The sound there was awful, like they were calling it in. And then there was an interview with somebody who knew Chris, who was the founder of Women in Prison. And the person who was doing the interview, their sound was awful as well. So that is enough to turn me off in this day and age, which is a shame. But yeah, I think so. I don't think I would continue with it because of that. However, they were talking about a radio play about the founder of Women in Prison, which I would definitely look for. So yeah, I'm going to go and make something to eat now. It's leftover sweet and sour tofu from last night. Read a bit in the book. And then maybe I'll do cross stitch and listen to the Pride and Prejudice first bit, because the cross stitch is Pride and Prejudice themed. So we shall do that. On to the next podcast. On to the cross stitch. So this is a cross stitch that I've been doing all year. It's from the October 2024 version of Cross Stitcher. And it is a, don't need these pinking shears, do I? It is, oh, it's not here. Where's the actual, here it is. It's Pride and Prejudice themed. This is how much I've done. I mean, it's impressive, isn't it? Even like when I look at it like on the screen, that looks even more impressive than it. Well, yeah, I'm really impressed. So I've literally started it in January, so it's been going on for a long time. I thought I would get it done this year. I don't think I will, because I think come end of this month, realistically October, I want to be doing Christmas cross stitching. So I keep plugging away at it, but I think this will probably be done early next year, and that's fine, because it'll be nice to have it up in spring and summer rather than to put it up now when I've got other Christmassy bits that I want to put up. So I'm going to do some more of this whilst I listen to the next podcast, which is on Audible, which is the new adaptation on there of Pride and Prejudice, and the first part of it is 30 minutes long, so I will do 30 minutes worth of cross stitching, and it stars Marissa Robela and Harris Dickinson. I don't know if it's an adaptation in terms of they've changed the setting of it, or if it's just those guys in the parts. But yeah, we will see. Well, I think it is going to be an adaptation because it says it's by Jane Austen and Lulu Raxa. So that would make me think that it's changed a little bit. So here we go. We're going in for 30 minutes of this. They look like they're in period dress in the picture, so we shall see. Nice little song at the beginning. And let's get cross stitching, and I'll show you how much I've done at the end. I mean, you won't be able to notice much. A song. Well, that was very well enjoyed. Very well enjoyed indeed. So it's a radio play of them with different parts voiced by different people, including Bill Nighy voicing Mr. Bennet. And what I would say is different to this compared to other sort of radio plays or adaptations I've listened to it is that you hear sort of Elizabeth's inner thoughts as well. So she'll sort of muse to herself on going to the ball or on what Darcy said to her or anything. I mean, we're very early in. She's just turned Darcy down for a dance and she's heard him say that he's intolerable. And yeah, you get a little bit more sort of, I guess, behind the scenes stuff. But I really enjoyed it and I thought they cast it very well. And yeah, the person who plays Lydia, I need to have a look and see who that is. But it's set, I don't think it will be because Lydia is a very young character. But it really sounds like the actor who voices Kate in The Archers. But I don't think it will be that person. But yeah, so I'm very pleased that I will definitely carry on listening to that. And this is how much of the cross stitch I'd done. So all of this dark green stuff here, and then I've just started doing a little bit more green here. Yeah, but I will continue. So I'm going to just finish off with this thread by listening to the audiobook that I'm listening to, and then I'll pack this up and then we'll start on packing. I was sort of hoping David would be home for the packing because then we can listen to that football podcast, because I may as well listen to it with him because he might be able to explain some football to me. Anyway, onwards I go.
I thought I was just prone to headaches.
Hi. I'm in the office now. I've got a few cleaning jobs to do in here, involving wiping things down, tidying up a few bits. This is also where the suitcases are, where we're packing. So I thought I would listen to, I've only got 3 podcasts left to listen to. And this one is going to be Shouldn't Laugh But, which has got Laura Smythe and Carmen Butcher. And it's 36 minutes long, this one. So yeah, we will see how I get on with this. With comedy stuff, like, I'm quite specific, I think, in what I find funny, and then I tend to stick to that. So it would be nice to find 2 women laughing at stuff that I could also get on board with. So yeah, I'm going to play this now and have a little tidy up in here, and then I'll report back to you how this is. And then we've only got 2 more to do, the football one and the history one with Mary Beard on it. They're both the longest ones, I think. The football one's 44 minutes and the Mary Beard one's 52 minutes, so yeah, but we're going to do a bit of cleaning now. Go! Done. Tidying in the office done, and got quite a lot of the stuff ready for packing, including this jacket, which I wasn't planning on taking. I can't find my actual waterproof jacket with a hood, and it's going to rain all week, so I need one. And this is the closest I've got to a waterproof. I have also got a very good waterproof hat that is packed away. So it won't be the end of the world, but I will look like, because that's yellow, I'll look like a little duck. But yeah, I'm gonna have a look in the car and maybe see it's in there, but I don't know. Yeah. The Shouldn't Laugh But, it was fine, but like, I don't need any more fine podcasts in my life, so I probably won't carry on with that. It's just basically 2 comedians just catching up on their weeks and what's going on in the world in particular. This was the Cardi B trial. And yeah, like I said, it was fine, but I'm after more than fine. So, I'm going to go and text David, find out what's going on, when he's going to be back. 2 more podcasts to listen to, the longest ones. I might listen to the Mary Beard one. I've got to find something to do whilst I'm listening to the Mary Beard one. But yeah, onwards. We're packing for our holiday, and I thought now might be the time for me to listen to the football podcast that I can't wait to listen to. Wildcards. Jermaine Jealous and Jermaine Pennant. So there was actually an episode that went live today which was 40 minutes long called Ange Ball Coming to Forest. Don't know what that means. Craig Bellamy.
And that's
a footballer.
That's a manager that's
okay.
going to bring. That's
Craig Bellamy wants Canada payback, and is Harry Kane underrated? So we're going to listen to this. David is much more of an expert on whether or not this is interesting. You don't listen to any football podcasts?
No, I don't.
No interest?
No.
You don't really follow football the way you used to?
No, definitely not. But what I will say, what's doing the rounds, and I've never seen it, but you probably did, is Matt Lucas when he's pretending to be a football fan when he's not. And it's just like, and I'm in the stands and I go, rah, rah, rah. It's just like, I like Tottenham, but I don't like Spurs. And it's very funny. I like London, but I don't like Chelsea.
Okay.
And does David Beckham play for Man United and England?
Right, okay. So we're going to listen to it now, and David and I will inform you what we think after.
These are my pants, by the way, that I've just bought.
New pants. Beautiful background of towels and open wardrobes. But yeah, we've just listened to it. Not only was it about football, it was about fantasy football, which I know even less about. How was it?
Do you know what? Like, I'm definitely not going to listen to it, but it was fine.
Oh, just
it
fun.
Seemed quite not misogynist.
Oh, okay.
Is that the word?
Misogynistic.
Yeah. It seemed quite just like a couple of mates just chatting about fantasy football and about how things. I will say I quite like how they integrate like chatting about the football news.
Yeah.
Into how it affects, which is essentially the podcast, into how it affects the fantasy football. So on that sense, yeah, I think
if you're into your fantasy
if
football,
you're into your fantasy football, definitely listen to it. Because obviously, like Naughty Boy Jermaine Genus, like he is an expert.
What on fantasy football?
Or in football, so they'll know like players. So especially when it comes to like transfers and how different teams play, because a lot of transfers have happened. So people might have had players that now to different teams that play different ways. So and with new managers. So yeah, like I think if you're well into your fantasy football, which I'm not, like
right, go on then,
yeah.
David. Go and send your last work email.
Bye.
Before holiday. Yeah, so I've got one more to listen to. It's the Mary Beard history one, which we're going to now go to my sister's for pizza and pasta.
All the others?
Yeah.
What's been your favourite one?
I love the Pride and Prejudice one, obviously, and the one called The Mystic and the Mare was pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm yeah, and then I'll listen to the Mary Beard one when I get back because we've got some chores to do before we go, including changing the sheets on the bed, a bit of hoovering, etc. So I might put my ears in and just crack on with 52 minutes of hardcore cleaning. So yeah, anyway, off for pizza and pasta now, bye. Pizza and pasta has been consumed at my sister's house, and I've finished this, done the review for it, lovely stuff. Oh, actually, and I'm about to do a little bit of polishing in this bedroom whilst listening to the last podcast of today, which is Instant Classic, the one with Mary Beard in that I've been referring to. This is the longest of the lot. Instant Classic, sorry. So there's the new episode is 52 minutes and it's called What Sappho Still Teaches Us About Love. And the tagline is, in ancient Greece, the Iliad was the poem above all other poems, an epic, I reckon that E word is. I studied the Iliad for when I did my AS level in classical civilization, which I really liked. And I wish I'd known about it early because I probably would have taken a full A level in it. And I probably would have done quite well at it. But never mind, I can't dwell on the past, I'm going to sneeze though. But yeah, I'm going to listen to this now. Polish in here. I've made the bed already. Let's go. Come on, Mary. Oh no, these are...
Let's face it, it's a Mediterranean island.
There we go. There we go. All podcasts listened to and lovely bit of mood lighting for you. Duvet back on the bed. I'm really excited about tonight's sleep because there's a duvet on the bed. So yes, 9 podcasts listened to from this week's Radio Times. I'd already listened to Dish because Dish is a favourite of mine anyway, so I would highly recommend Dish anyway. But the ones I will definitely be carrying on with are the Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice retelling on Audible with Marissa Wabrela as Elizabeth Bennet. I also really enjoyed The Mystic and the Mare, so I think I'll carry on with that as well when I get back from holiday, obviously. But there we go. Let me know if you listen to any of these podcasts. Let me know if you found this helpful and if you'd like me to do it again. I quite enjoyed doing it. It's something I've been meaning to do literally since we subscribed to this magazine at the beginning of the year. So yeah, if you want me to do it again. I was quite fortunate with this week as well because sometimes it's very sport heavy and I thought, well, there's no point me listening to 4 sports podcasts when I know I'm not going to enjoy any of them. But there we go. Oh, I should have said, sorry, the Mary Beard one I enjoyed. It seems like this episode I listened to about Sappho's the first in a series as well, so I will probably revisit that at some point as well. But yeah, definitely Pride and Prejudice, and probably The Mystic and the Mayor as well. Thank you so much for joining me for this slightly different booktube video, and I'll see you all again soon for another booktube video. Goodbye!